Hey, back again for part 2 where we're going to continue grinding missions. Um, just gonna buy a little bit more ammo. Let's buy like 600. Doesn't really matter. Because hopefully I'll be back before too long to upgrade a bit more. But yeah, let's go. Okay, and I think I'm gonna go back to the same spot I was at before. Now, these guys are weak to green seismic, so hopefully we don't run too much into them. I don't know if the particular terminals, because like they split the island up so that this is kind of the green area, this is kind of the red area, or yellow, sorry, and this is kind of the blue area. So, and then down here is like Syndicate. I don't know if they would have went as far as to make certain terminals on certain parts of the map spawn more of that type of NPC. Because if that was the case, going to the green area would be bad with the yellow bots. But I don't think they would have went that far. Plus, when I did this before, I don't think I got a single pedestal mission. So I'm thinking that's not the case. Just chatting with another person who just came back to the game. Although I didn't just come back to the game, but yeah. So this particular video is going to be just basically missioning. It's going to be a lot more of the same, so if you want to skip it, obviously no harm in doing that. Or, you know, if you want to just like quickly glance through, see what the deal is. You're not going to miss much. It's just going to be me grinding up to the assault bot, and then from there, just doing more missions, earning more Nick. And I'm basically going to do that until I get into a mech. And that's where this part of the combat tutorial is more or less going to end. Once I get a mech fit up to do what I need it to do. Have to turn my armor up off. So these level 1 missions are a lot more difficult than one would hope. I mean, they're not really difficult at all, but as you can see, I am kind of running out of accumulator, which isn't ideal. But that being said, we are making quite a bit more Nick now with those extra tokens we're getting now, because each mission's worth about 100,000 just off the tokens. Yeah, I will make sure to cycle my rep on whenever I can. Yeah, ideally I won't have to take much of a break between missions, but it looks like I might have to warp back here pretty quick. my accumulator just can't really handle keeping the armor up and firing. So what I'll do is I'll finish this mission, and I will grab my tokens, and then I will head back to Hirschfield, because when you go back into the terminal, it does restore your armor. But yeah, just taking too much damage on these. So we will grab both of these, and we'll teleport back to Hirschfield. Now, given that this is what's happening, I'm wondering if I should just be taking missions out of Hirschfield. I don't like doing that because it's a lot of running around, but if I can't sustain, and the game crashed. Alright, so let's reload this. Okay. So we'll take everything out, and I do kind of want to sell regularly just so I know where I'm at. I'm going to try taking a mission out of Hirschfield just to see how that feels. Again, I'm not in love with doing this, but might just be the way to go. Yeah, like look how much walking this is. Now, again, I said it before, but I'll say it again. It's not as bad as it looks because you get roads, which increase your movement speed, and then you also get the ability to teleport back after every mission. So if it does take you a little ways away, you're able to get back quickly to turn in the mission, but again, not super ideal. I think I will go out of my way to kill this Goblin Lancer just like I did last time. Seems like they're a good oh, he's going away from me. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna do that. A little bit too far away. Okay. The sensor apps don't actually... Well, they reduce my locking time by about half, which is good, but still not exactly where you want to be. I'm just used to like a 2-second lock time, so I'm a little bit spoiled with my other accounts. Now hopefully we get just quick missions. Turn my armor up on while my accumulator's up. Oh geez, that's a really far walk again. This is why I don't particularly love combat missions, because despite them being combat, there's a lot of walking to do, and walking is boring. Yeah, and again, Hirschfield, this is why people don't like Hirschfield, because Instead of just being able to go straight here, I got to go around all of this terrain to get to my destination, which is not ideal. Gives me some time to repair up, but yeah, not a good situation. Yeah, by the time I get there, I should be basically fully repaired, and I'll turn my armor up off after this cycle. And just trying to get to this destination for the mission as soon as possible. And again, it is very tempting to just give myself some nick and buy the assault bot, but at the end of the day, I gotta do these missions anyways. And like I said, on my actual account, this is just to show kind of how the combat goes and what you can expect from the certain missions. On my actual accounts, I didn't do a single combat mission. In order to gain Nick, I did 100% industry missions. And again, once we get to those videos, you guys will see why they go a lot faster. A lot faster. And you can start making tons of Nick way faster. But I mean, I'm going to say it again. If you're new to the game and you don't want to kind of, cheese the mission system and you just want to get used to the combat and get used to killing NPCs and get used to looting, then obviously this is where you want to be. For me, who's done things that are way harder than this and way more intense than this, obviously it's going to be a bit boring. But if you're new to the game, this shouldn't be that boring. It should be fun. Wait, what? I gotta wait? Oh, okay. Apparently I'm engaged in combat. Here we good now? There we go. So this is one reason why you might want to stay on the Alpha Island, especially if you're just grinding up Nick and grinding out missions. So that did give me the tokens here, so that's good. Oh, I got 100,000 for that mission. So 200,000 with the tokens. That's really good. So just about 10 missions and we'll have our assault bot. But yeah, again, this is one reason why you might want to stay on Alpha 1 if you did go through the tutorial. Hirschfield is just very, very painful to mission on. At least if you're doing it out of the actual terminal. Once I get my assault bot, I'll be able to go and actually sustain. I could also increase my skills a bit in order to do that, but yeah, I might actually do that if I remember to the next time I return to the terminal. Just bump up my accumulator a little bit, because I currently can't really sustain it. Energy management is something that you're going to want to get on pretty much all accounts anyways. That's what increases your accumulator recharge time, and then same as accumulator expansion. Those are two things that almost I can't really see any reason why you wouldn't want to get those. They're cheap skills and they're very, very important for pretty much everything in the game, other than doing industry in the terminal. But most accounts are going to have some amount of deploying. Okay, I'll lock these guys up. It hasn't given me any green missions. I wonder if that's just coincidence or if they actually programmed it so that they know what kind of bot you are running. I'm not sure, but yeah, we haven't gotten a single pedestal mission yet, which is good. That's good for us. But yeah, a little suspicious if that's actually by design or if that's just coincidence. Oh, we're actually full. Small armor reps taking up all my inventory. Okay, so I will take this light laser because I do actually need another one of those. These I can just go ahead and. I think they're worth 10,000 each, but I think I'll go ahead and just destroy 2 of them. And I'll take, because they're very, very heavy. Okay, so this is going to be a little sketchy, although we do have a long way to go again. Like, I'm going to say it one more time. The distance from here to here is not very far, but because I have to walk all the way around, down, and up, it really, really adds to the journey, which again, missioning on Hirschfield is not ideal. But it does give me some time to get my armor up. I might have to be a little bit cheesy here and just kind of stay on the edge of the NPC's AI range. In this game, we call it leashing. So like their leash range. So if they have a short leash, that means that you can like get away from them and they'll stop following you. I wonder if I can just trigger them by going in here, then they'll meet me halfway. Looks like it's just the one guy. Okay, I should be able to fight this, no problem. Yeah, shouldn't be any issues here. Yeah, once you get up to the higher combat missions, especially by yourself, it's not always viable to just go in head on. Sometimes you got to use some, I call it like cheesing strategies, where you just basically trigger the mob and then you stay on their leash range so that they never really come at you. Okay. So we do need to do a dump here. Keep our ammo. We got the 5 times multiplier now, so that's good. Oh, I forgot to increase my skills. I'll do that on the next one. Again, if I remember, no promises. I'm really bad at remembering that kind of stuff. I just get so focused on what I'm doing that I totally forget. Now we're already back up to our starting balance of 500,000 after spending quite a bit of money on our gear. But yeah, the general plan is, again, just kind of get everything to do with the assault bot as far as skills go up to about level 5. And then once we get into the mech, we'll start looking to push our skills up to the level 8 to 10 ranges. Because, again, it depends what you want to do. Obviously, if you're going to do PvP and you're going to be PvPing in like light EOR bots, you're going to want to skill differently. Again, once the thing that I'm setting up to do is to be able to farm EP. So doing what I'm doing isn't really going to be a detriment. It might slow you down a little bit at the start, but then you'll be able to make it all back when you're able to actually farm up the EP way faster than if you don't go through these steps. So, okay, so we're finally against green bots. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. Grunts have got a ton of HP. They're plated, so yeah, we're going to be bashing on this guy for quite a while. Could almost take us in a 1v1, but obviously not going to happen, although it's going to be much more pain than what we would like. So hopefully this isn't a 3-part mission. 1 part would be very nice, 2 parts would be mediocre, 3 parts would be awful, but we'll see how it goes. One more shot should do it. That's it. No, there is another part. It's close by, which is good, but also bad because don't have a ton of health, and there's going to be 2 guys here. Although one of them is a industrial bot, so he's not going to be doing any damage. Industrial bots like to do E-War, and for some reason I didn't target him even though I meant to. So I am going to kill the E-War bot first. And I'll do a little bit of kiting. So you see they did lose my lock there, which is really nice. Titan ore. So that's a couple hundred nick there. So I think it's probably worth it to kite, considering I've got the range on him. And in case this is a 3-part mission, it's going to be really nice to just keep kiting and unlocking the NPC. Really no reason not to do this, other than being lazy, which I do love being lazy, and he's running away from me now. Like I said, we do have the range on him. I'm not exactly sure what the distance on these guys is, 150, so I do want to try and keep in that 150 range when I'm firing, but can back up, then jump back in. There we go. Barely any damage taken. Did just kind of want to be a little bit more careful while fighting that bot that's got a type advantage over us, so. Okay. Again, we'll just do an inventory dump. I think one more mission. I will do my skills now because I actually remembered. And I wanted to get my accumulator a bit better. So energy management is one that we're going to definitely want to get up. This is one I wouldn't be opposed to pushing it all the way to 8 right now, but I am going to pass on that. We do need reactor expansion to 5 in order to get the accumulator expansion, so I will go ahead and do that. Okay, and then accumulator expansion, we'll get that up to 5 as well. So hopefully we'll be a bit more stable while running our repairer now. And what are these selling for? 15,000. So if I were to repair these, how much would that cost me? 88,000. So that in no way, shape, or form is going to be worth it. So I will actually just recycle this stuff. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do a quick sale. Just see where we're at. So the common fragments don't sell for that much. I'm going to hold on to those. Oh, those guys sell for a lot. Just see where we're at here. Again, later on you are going to want all this stuff, but right now I just want... Ooh, that's worth quite a bit. Right now I just want money. Okay, we're up to 1.2 million. So, a couple more missions that we'll have our assault bot. And this guy, if I were to repair you, 12,000 versus 59,000. See, this is actually going to be worth it to repair. And then we've got this for when we do get our assault bot. Just going to check the market one more time. Baphomet. Oh, there's one here for 184,000. So I'm about 600,000 away. I am gonna buy this because, you know, screw it. But 600,000 away, you know, that's 2 or 3 more missions. I think you all can imagine that I actually did that. Okay, we need combat robot specialist 2. Obviously, you guys, well, if you were smart, you would have just already had your assault bot. So, okay, so we're gonna empty robot. Yes. Equip this one. So we want all of our lasers. Want our 2 here. Come on. Want our lightweight frame for sure. Get our armor wrap. And I will go ahead and buy 2 more of these. Get that damage up. And then for the other low slots, would be nice to have a bit more accumulator. And we'll just see what costs what. Market information. Okay, so those aren't too bad. We'll buy one of those. I think universal plates are a little bit more pricey. 255,000, so that's a bit on the high end, but I'm still gonna go ahead and buy one. And you know what, we'll go ahead and buy one more of these just to get that accumulator nice and up. Okay, we're missing a couple skills, so we'll go ahead and sort that out now. We need some data processing to get our CPU up, which is in electronics, so I'll get this up so that I'm good there. Might as well just put that up to 5 right now. And we're missing a couple extensions here. We need complex mechanics 3. It's going to be here. Awesome. Okay, so now we got a pretty nicely fit Baphomet. Go ahead and, whoa, mouse is spazzing out a little bit. I'm just going to buy, let's say, 1,000 ammo. Okay. So obviously we splurged a little bit because we got this super cheap Baphomet, but I mean, I'm sure nobody really wants to watch me do 20 more missions. It wouldn't have been that much. It would have been, you know, 5 to 10 more missions in order to do that, but you know, take what you can get. Considering you do get one for free just for completing the tutorial, I'm not going to be too upset about buying one for super cheap when I was about to buy one anyways, so. Yeah, about 5 more missions and I'll be right back to where I was with the cheese buying. Yeah, 188% damage. Looking really nice. Should be a lot better accumulator now. Yeah, you see that barely dips down when we activate our armor rep now, so yeah, it should be really, really good. So our next goal is going to be about 20 million Nick. So it's just going to be a lot of grinding. It's really, really quite that simple. Level 1 and then eventually level 2 missions. And yeah, once we get about 20 million Nick, we'll be able to buy that mech, and things will really, really start to accelerate from there. Now, you could buy a heavy mech for about twice as much, and then quite a bit more to fit that as well. And there's nothing really wrong with doing that, other than for what I'm going to be doing, I am going to be utilizing the beta islands, so it's going to be more beneficial for me. And then if you're following this for you, in that same breath, to stick with the cheaper mechs, just because it could get really, really dicey going to the beta islands with the freshly bought heavy mech, especially with low skills and yeah, just with no really backup. It's gonna be a pretty bad proposition to go ahead and do that. But obviously, if you want to save up a bit more and go right into the heavy mech, you can. Although once you do get the mech, we're gonna be making Nick really fast. You should be able to get a backup mech if you need to, or get right into that heavy mech fairly quickly. Yep, so obviously a lot faster now. Got more cargo space so we can loot more. Just really making good progress. I'm just going to say one more time that this is probably one of the least efficient ways to actually start off in the game. You could go into artifacting right away, and then all you need to do is get a little bit lucky and get a few cortexes, and you could sell those, and we'd already be at a lot more Nick than what I'm currently at. If I had been artifacting for the same amount of time that I've been doing this, I'd probably be closer to about 10 million Nick at this point. But there's nothing wrong with getting your rep up and getting to higher missions, because at the end of the day, if you do get to those higher end missions, it is going to allow you to make more Nick in the future. So this is something that you're probably going to have to grind through eventually anyways, especially if you do want a really good reliable source of Nick. So just something to consider. One thing that we could be doing at this point, or maybe we'll wait until we have a bit of backup money, but once we have enough backup money that we could afford to take a loss in case it does happen, is going to the beta island, because beta islands pay out twice as much. So might not be a bad idea, especially since the game right now has fairly inactive population. It's not going to be a horrible idea to. It's going to be pretty low risk to go get the double Nick from the beta islands. Level 1 missions, it's not that big of a difference because you're getting most of your Nick from tokens anyways, and then also loot. So, it's not something that is... it's definitely not necessary by any means, but just something to consider. Yeah, the missions are starting to pay out. We got the 5 times multiplier now, so, or the double multiplier now, so missions are starting to pay out pretty nice. This one looking like we're going to get about 87,000. This might just be a one-part mission, because 87,000 is actually a little bit low. And I forgot to do my armor reps, because just way more tanky now, so there's no reason to even repair. Just tank 30 missions. Okay, so again, we are against green mechs here. With our new found Baphomet, we should just be fine to do whatever we want here. Um, but obviously, if I was back in that light bot, I'd probably want to be kiting right now. But given that we are way outclassing the enemy right now, there's absolutely no reason to do anything but just face tank it and blow them up. No point wasting precious brainwaves on kiting and strategy when you can just do nothing. Excellent, and there is going to be another terminal that we have to go to that's very far away. Not excited about that, but it is what it is. Just hitting B right there to reload. Really shouldn't need to worry about reloading too much with 120 ammos, but I mean, no harm to do that. It also relieves a little bit of inventory space. Yeah, I'll check our transactions. So, you know, we've been climbing up. Again, our accumulator is quite stable now. Could leave the armor rep going all day. Completely forget about it and we'd be fine. Let's activate this. And what do we got? Alright, and do the kill dance. They do look pretty cool when they shoot. Nice little recoil effect. Again, not quite as cool as the rockets, but yeah. I actually think, I think lasers are actually my least favorite weapon. As far as looks, I still think they look cool, but I think rockets and then firearms, the machine guns, like the sound that they make. I've got the sounds off, obviously, but the sounds that the machine guns make is very nice, and they also look really cool. And then probably magnetostatics are my next favorite. They just got that nice really they're like a freaking, it's like they're hurling a baseball at you, which is kind of cool. Just a bunch of baseballs being thrown at you. But yeah, that being said, lasers are definitely also fine. Just out of all the cool things in this game, they are a 7 out of 10 versus a 10 out of 10 with the rockets. Yep, so got 100,000 nick for that one. I mean, nothing too special here. We're just grinding up nick. Slow and steady. Grinding up nick, grinding up reputation. Really not much else to say. So this build right here with 2 sensor amps and then tunings, weapons, and then kind of this similar type of thing down here. You can drop less accumulators as your skills get better and focus more on more tank, like more universal armors. Or if you are going with accumulators, you can even throw in a second repair. Sometimes that's really nice to have. But yeah, this type of build is what you're going to use for most things. That being said, once you do get into mechs, you are also going to want some weapon stabilizers in all likelihood, because we'll likely get the nick for the mech before we start actually fighting against other mechs. So it's going to be worthwhile to get some weapon stabilizers and then do these missions in a mech, because the medium weapons are significantly stronger than the light weapons. Come on, trigger it. Perfect. So another 100,000, another 100,000 in tokens. EP, just clicking on all cylinders. I'm just going to pause the recording while I walk back to the terminal and go grab a drink. Okay. And I'm back, and you guys got to skip a little bit of walking. So, nothing exciting happened in game. Alright, let's go do some more missions. So, I mean, combat missions are what they are. The nice thing is you do kind of get to see all the stuff that combat gives you, albeit not in large quantities. But later on, once we get this account trained up as well as our other two accounts, we're going to be getting a lot of loot via taps. That's the other nice thing. Well, it's a plus and a minus of doing missions on the beta islands is you don't get the universal tokens, which are worth the most, but you do get factional tokens, which is what you're going to want to use in order to get taps. Now, that being said, we are going to be missioning on our other accounts. Well, it's a long freaking walk. But yeah, we are going to be missioning on our other accounts, so those accounts you can for sure do on the beta islands if you do want to get your factional tokens that way. But it's really up to you if you want to do beta or alpha. They're going to be about the same. Obviously, the beta has the higher risk, but you do want to do some amount of beta in order to get the factional tokens. As I said, because those are going to be a large part in how we make our money once we get into our max. I guess it's also worth knowing that in order to do this, you don't actually need to be in max, but it certainly helps. Just gonna try and stick on this road as much as possible. I'll take the shortcut here and get back on the road as quickly as I can. Yeah, these long walking missions are unnecessary. This is actually something that would be really nice if they focused on reworking. Just I don't think that they can actually do that, but if it's something that you were able to do, again, it would be really nice to just really significantly reduce the amount of walking that is required in combat missions, especially once you do get to the higher tier ones, when you have to be in a heavy mech that goes half as fast as this, especially if you're geared up properly. It could be a lot of downtime just walking, which is not exactly where you want to be when you're doing combat. You kind of want to be killing stuff, but Again, I'm not entirely sure that that's something that can be fixed given the state of the game. But yeah. Okay, might be time to go do a sale. Let's just check what these are worth. Not much, so I will actually go ahead and destroy 2 of these. And we'll take all the loot. I'll just go back to the terminal and grab my tokens. And we're almost back up to 1,000,000 Nick again. We very likely will be over 1,000,000 once we do all of our selling. Again, just sticking to the road for that speed boost. If you double tap W, it gives you auto run so that you don't have to hold that down. You could also hold both mouse buttons, that also makes you go forward. But I prefer trying to do the double tap for the auto run. Of course you can change that hotkey to whatever you want, but I think I am completely 100% default hotkeys, so not really, they feel fine to me, and it's what I'm used to at this point, so yeah, no issues there. Okay, we'll grab our tokens and go do a nice sale. So I'm coming up to 45 minutes or 47 minutes on my recording now. I think I'm going to do about an hour on each one and then take a break, because these first couple parts are going to be really slow and lots of grinding, as I'm sure you guys can see. Back up to 1,000,000. Really good stuff. If you want to save time, you can, obviously not sell as you go, but it's kind of, I don't know. I personally like to see the progression as I'm going. It just, I don't know, kind of feels nice to see all the numbers going up and see the money going up. As I said, totally not necessary, but it's kind of fun. Okay. Might actually be worth repairing one of these and switching out our crappy one, because we do still have that Syntech armor rep, so I think I will just repair that and switch it out. Are going to have to invest a few more skills to equip that, but that's absolutely no problem. We need more data processing. Another thing that you can do instead of this, so I got that up to 8, that's pretty expensive, is you can go into your optimal weapon usage. And that's going to reduce the CPU of your weapons. This is also another one that's really good for getting your CPU down. So I'll actually just bump this up to 5 right now. And you can see that dropped us by almost 20 CPU, so really, really good upgrade there to get optimal weapon usage. Okay, and back to missioning. I'm gonna do a couple more missions and then call it for this video. Yep, we're really starting to improve our fit. One thing I will say is I'm not going to be getting any more upgrades on my Baphomet. So of course you could try to go for tier 4 gear. You could try to Just want to see. Just curious what these are worth. 2 million. I mean, that's way overpriced, but it's really not worth it. It's way more worth it to just get a tier one fit mech. That's gonna be doing a lot more damage, have way more tank, just all around, just way more stuff. Um, the only reason you'd want to go for tier 4 gear is if you're going to be doing PvP. And that's something that's going to come way later on when you're actually able to generate a lot more nick. Or if you do end up going down the production line when you're actually producing this stuff for yourself. So, yeah, really not necessary to get tier 4. Your money is going to be way better spent because 5 of those guns is 10 million nick. You're going to be way better spent, more efficient spending your nick just going towards a mech. And mechs, I think, are a really good balance for doing the lower tier missions because they have the speed and the damage output and the tank, where it's really not going to be an issue to do basically any missions. Or later on when we get really into our money making, when we're doing taps, it's going to be really nice for doing those as well. So getting into the mechs is kind of where you want to be. And then I will be basically, the end point of this series is going to be when I get heavy mechs for all 3 of my accounts. And you know, like, even just doing this, you could get there eventually. It's really just about making nick and getting EP, but I'm going to be showing you how I would go about doing it while also earning the EP and being able to pilot them properly. So this is going to be, it's going to be less about just butt rushing or grinding out for the nick. It's going to be kind of a more, I guess, all around tutorial on how to get there and then how to get the stuff, and then also what you do when you do acquire the mechs. Like, what's the point of that? What's that going to do for you? Oh, perfect. That was just a one cycle mission, which is exactly what we want because it gets the tokens quicker. Now, another option which I haven't mentioned is doing combat exploration. So instead of having a tuning, having a geoscanner. Now, I haven't done a lot of combat exploration, but from what other people have told me, it's quite a bit more profitable. As I said, I haven't really experimented with it much, so that may definitely be the case. But I mean, combat missions are as easy as they get, really, and as basic as they get, other than what I'm going to be doing on my industry accounts. But for the most part, combat missions are kind of nice to do, just because, I mean, it's as simple as going to a spot and killing some NPCs. There's really not much more to it than that, obviously. Okay, so this one does require us to go somewhere else. No problems with that. But yeah, as I've mentioned before, combat missions aren't exactly my expertise. So when I was playing before, I was playing on another server, and because they didn't really get a lot of the major bugs sorted out, they actually got hacked several times, which ended up them needing to restart the server several times. So I had to start new accounts probably about 4 or 5 times over the course of a year. So I'd play for a month or two, the server would get wiped. I'd play for a month or two, the server would get wiped, and I don't know, I was just really feeling the game at that time, so I kept playing despite losing all of my progress every couple months. But what that did do was it made me really, I shouldn't say really good, because I'm certain there's better tactics than the ones that I'm going to show you in order to get get money really quick, but it made me fairly quick at starting a new account. And combat missions are not the way to do that if you want to do it quick. It's the more enjoyable way to do it if this is the kind if you're playing this game. Because you actually get to kill stuff and loot things, which is you know more fun in my opinion. Again, maybe not as fun for me because I've done more exciting things than this in the game at this point, but if you're just starting out, this is kind of where you want to be. You want to see stuff shooting, you want to see stuff dying. Yeah, like my original strategy was to save up enough tokens and grind enough missions to get an echelon, and then again do these things called taps, which I'm going to be showing later on. Um, that's not going to be the case anymore because we are at a point where there's certainly an economy and there's all. I'm not concerned that in whatever amount of time from now that you watch this that there's going to be no mechs on the market. It's just not going to be. If there's no mechs on the market, then the game just won't be available because it will have shut down at that point. So if you're watching this and the game is still up, there's going to be mechs on the market on this server. So there's really no need to go the echelon route. Might as well just save up the money and get an actual proper mech instead of wasting EP and wasting time going on a divergent route for something that's not going to be as good. A little mistake I want to point out here, I should definitely be killing the Herald over the Grunt because Grunts have way more armor and you just want to kill things quicker in order to lower the incoming damage as much. It's not a big deal, but it's just something that's kind of a minor mistake. So this one was a 3-parter against green and still didn't even take that long, but this was the worst possible scenario. A 3-part mission against the faction that we're weak against is not ideal. Luckily, they weren't long walks though, so this one still actually ended up taking less time than, say, one where we had to walk all the way up here. I'm actually going to cycle my armor up off, even though it's probably fine to keep on, but I just want to keep that accumulator up a little bit. Again, try to utilize the roads as much as possible, because they do give you that really nice speed boost. Okay, we're up to 150 reputation, so we're halfway to the next level of missions. This one said it was only worth 49,000, so I didn't accidentally click on. No, this is the right, yeah, level 1 mission. So hopefully this is only a 1-parter. It's against Pellistal again, so we'll see how this goes. If this whole mission is just killing one bot, I'm not going to be that upset about it. Because that's a quick, cool 150,000 nick. And dead. No, it is a 2-parter, unfortunately. So the tooltip's probably wrong. It'll probably be more like 80 to 90,000 nick that I get from this one. But we're already about a fifth of the way to our heavy mech. So I think this will be the last mission for this episode. Because again, we're already running an hour, and I'd rather just break it up into watchable parts instead of doing a to 10 hour long session just grinding out missions. But I mean, hey, it's something to watch. It's something to listen to if you're enjoying the game. So absolutely nothing wrong with that. And again, once we start getting a bit more nick and we can actually afford to do some things, I'll be showing some really better ways of generating money. What I might do is I might actually, since if I get the what was I gonna say? Since I'm gonna have the higher mission levels on this one, I might just build up a bit of money on this account and buy a couple bots for my other accounts, specifically the Cronus. The Cronus is really good for doing industry missions, so I might do that. I might suffer a little bit just for the fun of it, but yeah, I'll see how I'm feeling. Okay, let's do a quick sale, see where we're at with Nick. Okay, private storage. Alright, and let's do another quick sell. It's up to 2 million Nick now. Really good stuff. As I said, it's probably better to just kind of do a couple dumps, like do 5 or 6 dumps, and then sell everything at once, but selling piecewise is kind of fun. So that's what I like to do. Are these worth anything? Nope. So I'm actually just going to destroy these. Yes. Okay, so we're up to 2.4 million Nick. Yeah, we're getting there. So I'm gonna end this episode for now, and I'll see you guys when we're grinding out some more missions, and we'll likely get to level 2 missions in the next one, and then see the profits go up even more. So yeah, I'll catch you guys then.